Hello, Inkin and Latte friends. Thank you for your patience. Had a little glitch today. Behind. Sorry about that. Appreciate it. I want to start out today's episode by answering a question that's been posed to me a couple times too. What does Inkin and Latte mean? Well, it's two of my favorite things, interpreted in two different ways. Ink and a latte means color and a good cup of coffee. And inking a latte means I'm inking up my stamps, my fingers, a lot and making beautiful projects. So I hope that clears up any misunderstanding or how I came about with my name, business name of Inkin and Latte. Let's see. I'm going to refresh here. Make sure I have some of you on with me for another episode of Listen at Lunch. And there we are. All right, I'll keep watching the comments. I just returned from a really fun long weekend in Rhode Island, visiting my daughter and her new home and celebrating two birthdays, mine belated, and my youngest turned 22 on Tuesday. And although it was a really quick visit, I was also blessed to see one of my longtime friends for a quick minute. She was actually my first hostess for a workshop craft party when I started out my business back in 2003, I want to say. And it was so hard not being able to hug her. I hope to go out again and spend more time and be able to craft with a bunch of friends out there. Shout out to Joyce and Jeannie and Vicky. So I hope to be able to do that too. I hope you enjoyed Tuesday's Listen at Lunch episode with Paper Pumpkin. It was really nice to have a paper pumpkin kit to go with me because it made up some great cards while I was on the road. And that little box had everything I needed to get my craft on while I was away from my craft studio. So it was literally a grab and go creativity in a box. I hope you enjoyed that. Just happen to have it right here because I'm playing some more with that. Okay, well, let me know you're here. Hi, Jennifer. Hello, Lisa. Glad you're joining. Thank you. Today is Listen at Lunch episode 18. That is a big number, and that means we've been crafting together twice a week for 9 weeks. I'm honored that you would join me in my craft therapy sessions, and today I'm hosting an online workshop for you. I'm going to showcase some Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper, some retiring products, and some new. Out with the old and in with the new. So grab your wish list and let's get started. The first card we're going to make today is using the Painted Harvest stamp set. This is, of course, retiring, and you have until June 2nd to grab this or while supplies last before the new catalog is coming out. I've cut and prepped some supplies that we're going to need while we're using this Painted Harvest stamp set. So let me just set them up here. I'll be making a lot of noise, so bear with me. The other thing I'm using, besides that Painted Harvest stamp set, is our Pressed Petals Designer Series paper. I'm going to be using this for, I think, every single one of my cards. And I'm telling you what, this paper is, needless to say, fantastic. So we've got several designs to choose from, and we're going to be using a lot of them. I love how versatile it is. There's so many different colors. And I want to show you one piece here too that you can cut up and put on your cards easy peasy with a sentiment. You've got a border here for a possible memory keeping page, scrapbook page. You've got some pretty cutouts for the base of a card. I mean, you could just cut this out, put it on, stamp your greeting, and you've got a fast card. So you get 4 sheets of each pattern that are double-sided. And look at the pretty music notes on the back side. So this is the paper that we're using today, and it coordinates with a lot of colors, as I've said many, many, many times. Stampin' Up! Gives us the color palette on the back side of your package that says Press Petals Specialty Designer Series paper. It's acid-free and ligand-free. Great for photos. The colors that coordinate are Crumb Cake, Daffodil Delight, Merry Merlot, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, Pear Pizzazz, Rococo Rose, Soft Suede, and Very Vanilla. All right, so that gives you that. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Stephanie. Uh-oh. I'm banging my camera, shaking it around. Okay, so set this stamp set aside, and I have cut all my pieces out. And I'm going to, because this is card base is Mossy Meadow that I've chosen, I'm going to give it a crisp fold with my bone folder here. Because this is Mossy Meadow, it's really dark on the inside. So I suggest you put a piece of coordinating cardstock inside, which I'm using Very Vanilla to coordinate with the Designer Series paper, and put this in the inside so that way you can write your greeting and not have people squinting when they're reading it, because if you write it on this Mossy Meadow, you're going to have to use a real dark black, a real dark color. And I think this just adds to it. And we could actually, well, we'll do that later. We'll stamp something on the inside too, because that's always fun. And of course you need to stamp your envelopes. So here's my card base. Real minimal supplies here. I've cut this strip of Designer Series paper, which look on both sides is beautiful. And I'm going to take my border punch, my banner cut punch. You know what? I am going to do this. I am going to label all my punches so that I'm saying their names correctly. Banner triple punch. Okay. And this punch, I'm going to stick my paper right in and turn it over. And you can see where you're punching. And I just punched out the banner section of this Designer Series paper. Also, it's grooved for 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and 2 inches, I believe, are the measurements here. So when you stick this in, it you have a guide too. But turning it over and looking at it gives you a good guide as well, so you can center it perfectly. All right, so we'll set that banner punch aside. Actually, I'm going to put it in this bin. And I am going to go ahead and adhere this to my card base. And each of these cards are very simple. Okay, and then we'll go ahead. You could use your multi-purpose liquid glue if you wanted to. I'm going to put this right in the center, or as centered as I can be. And there we have a really pretty card. Next we're going to stamp. I cut this oval out from the Stitched Shapes dies, and I'm going to stamp in Early Espresso. I'm going to use the greeting, "I'm thankful for you." So I'm going to ink it up. And again, this is a photopolymer stamp, so you can see where you're stamping. Otherwise, I might stamp first and then cut it out, because then you can see where you're cutting after you've stamped. And also, these ink pads are super juicy, and I would like to have my mat underneath me, because with the photopolymers, you want to have this cushy Stampin' Pierce mat so that you get the right amount of pressure here. So I'm going to ink it up, super juicy, so just we're tap, tap, tapping. And then you can turn it over and see, yep, see, I'm inking a latte. Okay. And do I have my paper towel here? I do. I have a little napkin here. So I'm going to go ahead and just wipe off the ink that I rock and rolled on the edges. Easy fix. Okay, it's inked up really good. I can see it. So now I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. Yay! All right, and I'm going to be a good girl, and I'm going to clean my stamps right away before I put them away with the Simply Chamois, because I'm just going to throw them in a box behind me so that I can put them away later. I want something a little more on here, so I picked the crumb cake, and I chose the leaf from the Painted Harvest. Hope you can see that okay. And I'm going to use crumb cake, again, super juicy. And I think, even though this is a really wispy image, I'm going to stamp it off and see how it's going to go. Let's do that again. Okay, that's really wispy, so I don't need to stamp off because I feel that's a real light, inking. So I just inked it up with crumb cake, and look at that. I just added a really pretty touch on the back side of that, so it's not just the words and a big piece of fairy vanilla. So we're going to put that on here, but before we do, we're going to add some ribbon. Let me get rid of these ink pads now that I'm done here. Thanks for letting me clean up while I'm going. It'd be super messy if I didn't. Okay, we're going to use the Magnolia Lane Ribbon Combo Pack. And in this pack, you not only get two different kinds of ribbon. You get this really pretty, like crumb cake linen ribbon that is very vanilla edged. That would be pretty on here. But I was thinking, you also get, so you get two different kinds of ribbon. Oh. This one is a Mossy Meadow Twine, or linen thread, I should say. And I have not opened it yet, so let's go right in here. Thought I had one open. Come on. All right. So I am just going to wrap this around a few times. Let's do 4. So I'm making a big circle 4 times. And then I'm going to make a figure 8 so the ends are on the inside. And it's okay if this isn't perfect, because that's the whole point. I'm going to put some pretty snail adhesive down here, and then I'm just going to tack this down. And see how it's kind of messy? That's okay. You just want to tack those ends down, and each one is different, but it's going to be really pretty when we're done. So you can play with them and move them around. Okay, and then I'm going to take some dimensionals. Because I want to pop this up. And I think 2 is going to be plenty. And here I have, I'm thankful for you. Spread this out a little bit. And voila. There's our first pretty card. Oh, actually, we forgot to stamp the inside, right? Told you I was going to do that. Let's do that. So I'm going to take that same leaf that I used on the greeting. I'm going to open up the card. I'm going to take my crumb cake. It's never too late. And because it's so soft, I'm just going to ink it up and not stamp off. And let's see. Just put it right here in this corner. And look how pretty that is. So there's our first card today. Painted Harvest. I hope you like that. Okay, let's clean off this stamp. So Painted Harvest, Pressed Petals, Designer Series paper, and Magnolia Lane Combo Ribbon Pack. That's what we used for this first card. All right, I'll set that up here, and let's go to our second card. Second card, we're using one of my all-time favorite sets, Sweetly Swirled, which, yep, I've told you before, it is retiring. So let me set up with all my supplies here. We're also going to be using the pretty label punch, Mossy Meadow, and this pretty label punch is going away as well. So sad, so sad, so sad. Yes. All right, here we go. I have chosen, set this up here, I have chosen the linen side of the Pressed Petals Specialty Designer Series paper. And we're going to adhere that to the background. Using snail, or you could use your multi-purpose liquid glue, because that works great with Designer Series paper. And center it as best I can. And then next, I'm going to take a strip of Pear Pizzazz, and I'm going to stamp this. This is going to be quite unique. So I'm taking this from a card I made with another stamp set that I'd chosen. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. It comes with practice when you're working with that linen thread. Just swirl it around. So it came with a lot of practice. It wasn't, you know, just a easy peasy, look what I can do kind of thing. So, but it's nice. Okay, I'm going to sample this and see if I like how dark it is. And you know what? I think I do. I think I like it dark. So I'm going to stamp one of these swirls all over this Pear Pizzazz cardstock piece. And I'm just going to overlap them too, so. You can hear my son, he's got his dog here. He came to watch my dogs while I was gone. Okay, so here I've just put a whole bunch of circles and created a nice pattern on the back side. And again, I'm not going to clean this because I'm going to use it again. And you'll see where. Okay, so then I'm going to take this, but before I put it on, I'm going to use some crinkled, since I'm using a white card base, I'm going to take this Whisper White crinkled ribbon, and we're going to tie a little bow, if you will. So once again, this is how I tie my bows. I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the back side. Just this strip. I guess we could add these on too if we wanted while we're doing it. Oh boy. Okay. So I'm going to attach this. I like it this way. So I cut a long piece of a strip of ribbon, and I'm going to attach it on both sides. And then I'm going to lay this down right in the middle. So what I've done is I've tucked in my ends of my ribbon. Then I'm going to take a piece, and if it's not just right, you can always pick it up and adjust it. You have a little grace period there. Okay, there we go. It's a little more, it's a little tighter. Okay, then I'm going to tie my bow right on top of this ribbon. Like so. And that way I can move it wherever I want once the card is done. And it wasn't a bow, it's a little half knot. And then I'm not using a whole bunch of ribbon, wasting the ribbon by cutting pieces, because I tend to not cut enough or cut more than enough. So then I have to go back and cut again. Alright, so this Whisper White crinkled ribbon is still available. It will carry over to the new catalog, because you've seen me demonstrate with this before where I've used the Stampin' Blends and colored it. This is great ribbon for that. So it's kind of wispy. It goes along with the theme here. Put that back in the bin. All right, next we're going to stamp a greeting, and I chose to stamp the Mossy Meadow on the soft seafoam cardstock using the Thank You in the Sweetly Swirled. So let's ink this up. Tapping it ever so gently. And my name is Carrie, my name is Carrie, my name is Carrie. Voila. Okay, and then we're going to use the Pretty Label Punch, which is retiring. And we're going to turn it over so that we can center this perfectly inside this pretty punch. If you don't have this punch, I think you need it, because it coordinates with so many stamp sets. All right, and there we've punched it out. But I think it's a little blah, don't you? So I think what we should do is we're going to add a little swirl, only we're going to stamp off. We're going to stamp off twice maybe. And then stamp right over. Oh, look. It just goes with the theme of the card. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals. Oops. Let's clean off our stamps. So this is card number 2. Again, using the Sweetly Swirled stamp set and Pressed Petals Specialty Designer Series paper. Got Soft Seafoam, which is one of my favorite colors now. It's just become one of my favorite colors. And voila. Now, if you were here in my house, my in-person classes, I would have stations set up, and you would go around and you would make 2 cards of 3 different designs, at 1 at each station. And that way all the supplies are there for you, and you work at your leisure, and you go around, and I'm doing just like what I do now. I'm describing how I'm putting the card together so that you can follow along with me. This little bow can slide anywhere you want because we've tied it on top, or this little knot, half bow, because we've tied it on top of the card. So there's a cute little card made with the Sweetly Swirled stamp set. Isn't that cute? Okay, let's go for card number 3. Oops, and I didn't know I did that. Oh well. All right. Card number 3 is using Love What You Do. And this is such a pretty stamp set. It has some wonderful sayings for you. It's a beautiful day. I'm lucky to have a friend like you. And we're going to make a really cute card. Very simple. Okay, we're using Very Vanilla. Yes, this is retiring. So sad. All right, we're using Very Vanilla cardstock. I'm using the Very Vanilla thick cardstock as my base because that is really sturdy. Where now that we have that, before I would just use a regular sheet of Very Vanilla cardstock, but this card base gives it a more professional feel, I should say. It's much sturdier and professional looking. What's another? Sturdy. Some other words I'm going to use. Okay, so I have chosen this gorgeous little piece of paper from the Pressed Petals Designer Series paper. And this is going to be a very simple card. I'm going to go ahead and add my Designer Series paper to, this is my card base, this is my card layer. I'm going to go ahead and add my, I'm not very good with the tape runner, the snail adhesive. Okay, so I'm adding my Designer Series paper to the side here. And do I have time to lift it up and adjust it because I didn't do it perfectly? No. So we're just going to leave it as is because you won't even notice. I'm thinking about one of two. I was thinking about crushed curry, crinkle ribbon, or I was thinking about crumb cake. I think I'm going to go, this is very bright. Let's see. Let's do a poll. Tell me if you think I should use crushed curry. I'll leave that out until I get the other one out, which is really pretty and bright. Or shall I use this crumb cake, which is soft and blends right in with the linen paper in the background with the pressed petals. So, of those of you that are on, which one do you like? Here's the linen or the crumb cake, and here's the crushed curry. Which one do you think you would prefer? Oh, Stephanie says crushed curry. All right, crushed curry it is. Snooze, you lose. Okay, so once again, I'm going to cut a piece that's wider than my scissors are getting dull. That's wider than my cardstock itself, so that I can go on the back side and place my ribbon so that it's tacked down. And while I'm there, I'm just doing it all over. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I've tacked it on the back side. Now I'll tack it on the other side. And then I'll go ahead and mount this on my card base. Voila. Then I can take this, and I'm going to use my newer scissors here. Set these aside. And thread it through. So what did everybody work on while I was gone this weekend? There we go. All right, next we're going to do a simple greeting. Sorry, that's loud, isn't it? We're going to use I'm Lucky to Have a Friend Like You, and we're going to use Night of Navy to pull out that Night of Navy there. And super juicy pad, so we're just going to tap it lightly. And because these are photopolymer, you can see exactly where you're going to stamp, so you really can't make it a boo-boo. Another thing I like to do while I'm doing this is I like to mount the stamp itself on a bigger block than what the stamp is. And that way it gives me a wide area to be able to see where my edges are, so that I'm stamping it almost perfect. Because I'm not perfect. Hopefully I just stamped that correctly. There we go. I'm lucky to have a friend like you. Very pretty, isn't it? And then we could like really quick, we could stamp little flowers on the inside. But I think we should stamp off. So I'm using the Night of Navy. I'm stamping off. Oops, I kind of boobled that, but it doesn't matter. So I got a little cluster of flowers on the inside. So there's card number 3 using Love What You Do stamp set, which is retiring. Very versatile. Okay, I have one more card to show you. Put these away. Clean these up. You installed a new front door and door frame. Wow. Joyce worked on making swap cards. Excellent. Stephanie made graduation cards. Very good. You guys were very productive. Jennifer, I know you're putting your house up for sale. So that must have been huge. I hope that when you do all these improvements before you list it, that you won't change your mind. Sometimes that happens. Isn't there a show like that? Okay, last card is pretty fun. We're going to be using a new stamp set, which is actually available right now. They gave us a pre-order for this a pre-release for this, but it's also going to be in the new annual catalog, but they released it early. That's what I'm trying to say. Called Ornate Thanks, and there are lots of sayings in here that are just beautiful, and I love the fonts. So we are using Ornate Thanks, and of course we are using the Designer Series paper. Okay. Oh, I bet. Wish you'd been in your craft room. Okay, I used Crumb Cake for my card base. And I have Night of Navy and Very Vanilla. That's going to happen here. What else? And very sadly, we are using the 1-inch punch, which is also retiring, and that's really sad in my book. So I'm going to punch out some 1-inch circles. And what, I think I was going to use Night of Navy ink pad, so I got to pull that back out from my previous card. Okay, we're also going to be using this Sahara Sand Night of Navy linen thread, Baker's Twine. I'm going to show you a fun little trick with that if you don't already know. If you do, then you're not any smarter than you were a half hour ago. You know how that goes. Do you ever listen to CSX and Dave Dahmer? He's so funny. I really like listening to him. He's a hoot. Okay, so this is, we're going to be punching out 8 circles. I already punched out 4. I'm going to punch out 4 more. And the beauty of these punches is you can look where you're punching before you punch and get a really perfect image there. There's 2 of those. Let's see. I like this little flower down here at the end. So I'm going to punch this one. Got 2 of those. Or maybe not. Maybe I should punch a darker one. Alright, let's punch a darker one. There we go. So they're more alike. You know, I'm matchy-matchy. Okay, and then I'm going to punch... What was my pattern here? Okay, well, we're going to use this side. So I'm going to go ahead and punch out one of these. My son's playing some games. I'm going to go shut the door. Okay, there's my 8 pieces. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Oh, Fiona, you're right in my way. He has his headphones on, so he doesn't realize that we can hear him so very well. All right, so here we have these pretty punches, and now next what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape these onto my card layer, and after I have figured out my pattern, so I'm kind of going to go gonna go like that. So this is another super simple card, and I'm gonna use my multi-purpose liquid glue for this. Start in the bottom corner. Ooh, that's really pretty too. That side's pretty. I might come back and do that. Okay. Then you can place it however you want. Just kind of off to the corners where I'm doing it. You have so many choices with this paper too, so. Okay, I'm gonna kind of evenly space it from the bottom and the side of the other one. What did I do? Can you see that? I was probably inking a latte and I have a little ink on my fingers. Oh well, it's all good. All right, next I'm going to put these on. Oh my goodness. I might be off camera, sorry about that. This is kind of the tedious part. So I'm really going to miss my 2 circle punches that are retiring. The 1 inch and the 1/2 inch. So I'm getting as much use out of them as I can now. But I can always go to the layering circles dies. Alright, so there is more. Now, should we do these or should we do... I think I'm going to give you choices again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. I think I had one punched out too. Oh, look at this. Should we do this one with the ferns? Or should we do this one with the newspaper clippings? Okay, another choice. What are your thoughts on the Soft Spring photopolymer stamp set? Is that the, Stephanie, is the Soft Spring the Hostess stamp set? Let me see. I've got my catalog right here, so I will look. Yeah, Soft Spring is a Hostess. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. So here it is. The Soft Spring is wispy and really pretty. So you can use any colors. You can use it dark and fill in. I mean, these, I think it's gorgeous. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And for $9.50, it's a $16 value, but you get it for $9.50 when you have $150. When you host your own party, you can use your Stampin' Rewards to get this Hostess set for $9.50. I like it. Okay, so Joyce says the writing, so we're going to go with the writing. While I was gabbing, she answered my question. Great job, Joyce. All right, so bye-bye, Fern. I'll set these all aside. But look, I just punched circles out of pretty paper to make this card. All right. Adding a little multi-purpose liquid glue. Spacing them out. Of course, we can move this while it's still wet so that it's upright. But if it's a little crooked, it's okay. Okay, here's what we got going here. Next, uh-oh, where'd you go? All right, see this pretty baker's twine? It has 2 different colors. It's woven with Sahara sand and Night of Navy. But if you do this and kind of pull out the two strands, pull out the Night of Navy, you have one color, which is Night of Navy, that we're going to use here, which I think this is genius. And I'm actually going to, I think I'm going to go ahead and add this to my card base. Let's stamp our greeting first. No, we'll stamp our greeting last. Okay, such decisions. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put this down on our layer of Night of Navy. And I have a new trick with the multi-purpose liquid glue that I'm going to share with you one of these days, one of these episodes. Okay, so now we have this on our, we have this layer mounted on the Night of Navy layer, and we're going to take this Night of Navy and I'm going to, like I do before, I'm going to put it on my card layers before I attach it to the card so that you can't see the ends. I'm going to go up here. And you could actually do it down lower if you wanted to. Let's see how that would look. Just while we're here. You can put it down there, put it in between. I kind of like it up here. Dare to be different, right? Alright. So there, I've got those secured on the back side. And I'm going to put a little more over that. I could really trim those, which I think I will. Today's a stay-at-home and craft day because of the weather out there. A little nippy today. Didn't start out that way. Okay, once again, I have my card base, Crumb Cake. I have my adhesive all over the back. Just put a little more in the center. And I'm going to go ahead and mount this right on. Voila. All right, and then I'm going to take another piece, and I'm actually going to cut this a little bit longer than I need because I need to pull out the Sahara sand from the Night of Navy. So once again, just grabbing that. There's two strands of the Sahara sand and one weave of the Night of Navy. And then I'm going to tie a little knot, half knot, because I really don't think it's going to come undone. Voila! And I can move it, once again, anywhere I want to. It's a little too fine for me to tie a bow, but you could do that if you wanted to. Alright. So, all we need is a little greeting. So let's do that. I chose, from the Ornate Thanks, I chose My Friend, because it could be anything. It could be thinking of you, it could be thank you, it could be, hey, what you doing? And then I'm going to use the Night of Navy again. We're going to tap it lightly. And you'll see it's all inked up, and it's very fine. And then because it's photopolymer and I put it on a larger block than the words itself, I can see exactly where I'm going to stamp. And I think I'm going to stamp it right there and line it up so it's nice and straight. There you go, a really soft, simple card using minimal supplies. Isn't that pretty? I like that, the wording. So thanks, Joyce, for choosing that one. All right, so that was card number 4. Let me put these away real quick. And I'll get back to showing you the cards. Gotta do a little cleaning. Voila. All right, so here's the Ornate Thanks. Here's the Love What You Do. Here's the Sweetly Swirled. And here is the Painted Harvest. All very unique and all using the same designer series paper. If you're new to crafting and you want some direction on starting out small, let's look over this beginner brochure. This says this is good through June 2nd. However, while supplies last, of course, because everything in here is retiring. So inside this beginner brochure, this is perfect for the new crafter because it gives you real simple ideas on how to get started. So it talks about our kits, our all-inclusive kits that we have, and this looking up kit is wonderful. This comes, it's all inclusive. So it comes with your ink pads, your stamp set, your clear block to mount your stamp set, your ribbons, your embellishments, everything you need to make however many cards are in that kit come in a box. A pretty box too, I might add. They're very decorative. So this is a great kit for the starter person. Oh, and here we go. Here's a perfect example of everything that it includes. The envelopes are always lined in our all-inclusive kits. Excuse me. Need a little drink of coffee here. Thank you. All right, so that's one. Also in the beginner brochure are quick and easy tags. So if you like making gifts and sharing presents and favors for people, hopefully this is all showing. Let me go down and make sure. Yeah. This stamp set is geared towards, well, you can use them for anything. However, you would also use them with tags. And there is a all-inclusive item number here that is a one-stop shop. So this Delightful Day Tags kit, the whole suite of products, includes your stamp set, your clear block C, a Pretty Peacock ink pad, mini pizza boxes, a Tags and More accessory kit, so all these pretty little colorful tags, and Stampin' Dimensionals. All this comes together for $48.50. Or you can order them separately. If you already have a block, you already have the Pretty Peacock ink pad, you already have dimensionals, you don't want to order more, then you can just order separately the individual items. But this is great for a beginner and especially the gift maker. Diane Clays, you've been making so many yummy treats. I think this is perfect for you to put some cookies or some muffins in a cello bag and then add a tag when you're giving away all those goodies. Boy, for a while there I thought you were baking every single day. You had 3 and 4 different items that you were putting out that you really made use of your time. It was wonderful. I was jealous. Okay, the next one is the Magnolia Lane cards. And these are smaller note cards. You get, in this all-inclusive item number, you get this darling little stamp set that is exclusive to this little beginner brochure. You get a clear block D to mount your stamps. You get 2 classic Stampin' Spots. You get the Mossy Meadow and you get the Soft Suede. Great way to build up a collection with little mini ink pads. You also get Magnolia Lane cards, which come decorated somewhat. They're patterned paper and so forth, and you just add, you can add leaves, or you can add flowers, or you can add your saying to stamp right on those cards, and then they go right onto your note card and envelope, which are also included. So you get 10 double-sided design cards and envelopes. And you also get a snail. So that's a great little kit too, if you like that really pretty Ornate Magnolia set. Okay, next one is Celebrate with Cake cards. And again, this is exclusive to the beginner brochure, this darling little Celebrate with Cake stamp set. For the all-inclusive item number, you get the stamp set, the clear block D, which coordinates with every single one of these stamps. You get 2 ink pads, not the spots. You get the 2 ink pads in Flirty Flamingo and Granny Apple Green. And you also get a package of 20 note cards and envelopes. So this is a great value kit to get you started, because everything you need is right there. You're stamping right on your note card. You're popping it in your envelope. And look at, they even stamped their envelopes. What good sample makers they are. Look at how pretty those envelopes are. I love it. So that's a great one. Especially when you're sending notes in this time. The next, the last one is the Hoot Hoot Hooray cards. This stamp set is adorable. I've shown you some cards that I've made, and I have one out here that I was going to demonstrate with, but I didn't. But it's using the circle punches and an embossing folder. Very cute. So this is very versatile, with the Always Here For You, welcome little one, happy birthday, congratulations, and thank you, you made my day. Excuse me. Alright, so the all-inclusive night item number includes the stamp set, the entire stamp set, a clear block D, which coordinates with all of these, a classic Stampin' Pad in the basic gray, so it's the big one, it's not an ink spot, and a package. Not only do you get a package of the note cards and envelopes, but you also get watercolor pencils. So you can color these in, and those watercolor pencils are fun. I think there are 13 different colors, Stampin' Up colors. So that is an awesome kit. And then if you want to go a step further and add additional products, they have these listed in the back. Another block, multi-purpose liquid glue, your paper snips, these are a must-have, and these scallop cards and envelopes are really sweet. Those are going away as well. All these items in this catalog, except for the Looking Up card kit, are retiring. And you also get, as you want to order a Simply Chamois, because that's what I use to clean off my photopolymer stamps. Easy peasy. So there you go. This beginner brochure gives you a number of ideas for the beginner stamper to build up your stock in card making ideas and crafting. You know, you have the tags too, so you're not limited to just cards. You can even use these definitely on your memory keeping scrapbooking projects. So with that said, I am offering you today, for watching today's episode, I'm offering you a terrific special. Any order placed with me by Sunday evening, May 31st, you will receive a birthday card as a thank you, because this is my birthday month. And with any $50 order, you're going to receive a birthday card as a thank you, a tutorial with 15 different projects and their directions, and the make and take for all 4 of these cards. Okay, with a $75 order, you'll receive a birthday card from me, a tutorial with 15 different projects and directions, the make and take for these 4 cards that I've demonstrated, and a full package of embellishments from the new annual catalog. Yes. With a $100 order, you'll receive a birthday card as a thank you, a tutorial with 15 different projects with the directions, the make and take kit for these 4 cards that I've demonstrated, a full package of embellishments from the new annual catalog, and either a bolt of ribbon or I will give you the kit to make this wonderful sampler, Music from the Heart stamp set. Yeah, so your choice there. Then, with a $150 order, you'll receive a birthday card as a thank you, a tutorial with 15 different projects and their directions, the make and take kit for all these cards that I've demonstrated, a full package of embellishments, and a bolt of ribbon or that sampler while supplies last, and you'll get Stampin' Rewards for going over $150. So you must place your order with me by Sunday evening, May 31st. And if your order is under $150, please use host code, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I have a tickle, H6MTGKMK. And your gifts will be shipped and delivered to you on or before June 10th. As always, I am happy to place your order for you if you'd like help. And I'm also happy to answer any questions you might have. I hope you'll join me tomorrow, Stampin' Scrap. Saturday is Stampin' Scrap at noon. And this is where we gather together. You just bring your own crafts. Come as you are. Dress however you want. And oh my goodness. I have quite the tickle. And we sit on Zoom and craft together, and it's pretty fun. We have some great conversations. It's a great crafting time together, and I'll post the link for you to join me. Crafting is so therapeutic and rewarding, and especially during this time when you can get swallowed up with everything that's going on outside your home. It's so rewarding to be together and just take your mind off of it and do something productive. If you'd like to learn more about my private classes and crafting sessions I host, please send me a message with your email address if I don't already have it, and I'll add you to my newsletter list. I send out an email once a week with my schedule and updates on Stampin' Up! Happenings. So again, thank you so much for watching Listen at Lunch episodes with me. That's about it. Stay well and stay blessed.